The Frieza Saga, the saga that got me into anime because apparently Saturday morning cartoons didn't like to play anything other than this saga. Now, as a kid, Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was the way that I got into Dragon Ball as a whole. Saturday morning cartoons was how I finally got to experience the anime, and ooh boy, did I enjoy it. I remember it like it was yesterday. The first ever episode I watched was Super Saiyan Goku straight up destroying Frieza. Now, I had a little context onto what was going on thanks to Budokai Tenkaichi 3, but I never had enough context until the anime rolled back around to the beginning of the saga. Krillin, Bulma, and Gohan going Namek because they needed the Namekian Dragon Balls so they could do blah 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 blah. We all know the story, but the reason I love this saga so much is because of 4 things. Number 1, the sense of weakness and danger. Normally in Dragon Ball Z, we never really got to sense weakness or terror because we all knew Goku would come in and save the day at the very end of the episode. And while this does happen still in this arc, Goku is out of the fighting in most of this saga. And while yes, he does stand his ground on opponents that his friends couldn't really even touch, he's still taken out by a lackey, Ginyu. And at this point in time, we knew about Frieza, how strong he is compared to Ginyu, and how menacing this man can truly be. And it's even more magnified when Goku is still out for the count when Frieza starts to fight the people that we know can't stand up to him. And when Goku finally does emerge, we've already lost Dende, and most importantly, Vegeta, the second strongest of the group. Remember that in the last saga gave Goku so much trouble and took everything from the fighters to defeat. And we see Vegeta lose. We not only see him lose, but we see this man getting tossed around like he was nothing, even after Krillin and Dende helps him get the Zenkai boost. And now Goku, the Z Fighter's last hope of defeating him, is standing up to the plate. And while Goku does seem to have an equal ground at first, it becomes very apparent that he's struggling to keep up with Frieza. We get a glimpse that Goku is using spurts of Kaioken just to save himself, and when Goku decides to kick it up to a level we've never even seen him go, and he goes Kaioken times 20 to try and cripple Frieza, it ends up doing nothing in the long run other than really pissing Frieza off. Then Goku having to resort to the Spirit Bomb, the largest Spirit Bomb we've ever seen up to this point, taking the combined efforts of everyone to hold Frieza off long enough to charge, and when it hits him and the dust clears, it seems like he's finally defeated and gone. Yet once again, he stands above them and decides to pick them off. First goes Piccolo. The entire reason they came to Namek in the first place was to get their friends and the Earth's Dragon Balls back. Next falls Krillin, Goku's lifelong friend, snuffed out in a matter of moments, begging for Goku himself to help him. Number 2, the comebacks. Comebacks are a really major part of every story. We can't have a story that constantly descends deeper and deeper into darkness, and the Frieza saga has plenty. When Krillin and Gohan are getting manhandled by Guldo, a seemingly invincible fighter that can stop time, Vegeta steps in and one-shots them. When the gang gets destroyed by Raccoon, Goku comes in at the last second and one-shots him. Then when Jason Birder, the 2 stronger members, fight Goku, Goku washes Birder and embarrasses Jace. Then, later during the fight with Frieza, Piccolo is wished back, and just when it seems like all hope is lost, Piccolo arrives and slaps around second form Frieza, so much so that he has to transform into his 3rd form, and starts paying Piccolo back brutally. Then after Goku goes Super Saiyan, Frieza, the tyrant and monster, the evil monstrosity that has been giving the universe and the Z Fighters so much trouble, is finally getting what he's been deserving this entire arc. Goku tosses Frieza around the planet, showing him the same brutality that Frieza has been showing everyone else, mocking him and making the legendary speech we all said as a kid.
You're different. What happened? What the hell are you?
Can't you tell, Freezer? It's just like Vegeta said.
No, you f***ing don't.
I am the hope of the Omniverse. I am the light bulb in the darkness. I am the bacon in the fridge for all living things that cry out in hunger. I am the Alpha and the Omega. I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am Son Goku, and I am a super!
Say it.
He pushes Frieza so far in a corner, he tries to blow up the entire planet, yet somehow misjudges and gives the planet 5 minutes till detonation. Number 3, transformations. Before we get on to the most important reason on why the Frieza saga is my favorite, I need to mention the obvious thing in the room, which is transformations. This saga gave birth to the most iconic transformation in anime history, the Super Saiyan. A form birthed from rage and pure emotion that gave one person the strength and ability to bring justice to his fallen race, as well as the people of Namek and countless others that Frieza enslaved or destroyed. Speaking of Frieza, I have to mention his transformations as well. His first form, with his short stature, easily deceiving you with his immense power level. Then his second form, making himself tower over his enemies and to make them know that they are beneath him. His third form, and honestly, my favorite form of all, disgust and to terrify his foes with overwhelming speed and power. And last, his final form, his original form, surging with power and is there to get business done with usually minimal effort. Now I'm not just going to talk about the big dogs. I also want to throw in a curveball to this list. Zarbon, Frieza's second-hand man. Known for his good looks, he's already filled with enough power to do most things that Frieza bids of him. However, if more strength is needed, he sheds his beautiful exterior and shows his true self. A grotesque body with an equally nasty face and mind, with enough power to make his opponents into a meteor that can crash down into the planet below. Number 4, the ending. Frieza, after powering up to his 100% state, struggles against Goku, pushing him to his limits and making himself careless along the way. His only desire is to kill Goku. He soon makes the mistake of getting too careless, cutting himself in half with his own attack, and falling to the ground defeated. Goku stands above him as he begs and pleads for forgiveness and mercy. Then, Goku, reluctantly giving into his kind-hearted ways, spares Frieza a small amount of his energy, then leaves Frieza to try and get off the dying planet alone. But Frieza doesn't want to let it go. He instead decides to fire back at probably the only thing who's ever gave Frieza mercy throughout his entire life. Goku then finishes off Frieza. Though upset that he had to go to these lengths, he flies off in the look for the way off this planet. But unfortunately, time runs out, and to our knowledge, he just doesn't make it.